Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks. They got a very special video for you guys today. We're going to be talking about Blake Snell and the possibility of him joining the New York Yankees. Obviously, the Yankees signed Marcus Stroman, and there was a lot of reports leading up to that signing of Blake Snell going to the Yankees. There was like a 6-year, 150 something $1 million contract. There was a bunch of reports. And then once we signed Stroman, a lot of people were saying, Christian, I know you were one person who was saying, everyone was saying, okay, it looks like the Yankees are done. But then I believe almost a week ago, it came out and we found out that the Yankees are the only team that have offered Blake Snell a contract. If that's still true, I don't know. But it looks like the market for Blake Snell is not very big right now. There's not a lot of teams going after him at this very moment. And with spring training starting in basically a month, the more and longer it goes on with Blake Snell not signing with the team, the more eager he's going to want to be to sign with the team. And something could definitely happen. His whole projected deal could totally get shaken up. We might even see him on a short-term deal. So I think with each passing day, the Yankees' chances to sign Blake Snell just get greater and greater. Christian, what are your thoughts on that? Do you still think the Yankees have a chance at Blake Snell?
I agree with the statement. I think their chances are getting greater. I don't think the Yankees are going to sign him, although it is interesting because reportedly the Yankees are the only team who's made an offer to him. Now, there's two things with that. First thing is, as far as we know, that offer was made before the Yankees signed Stroman. So, Yankees already handed out another $50 million. There's a good chance they don't want to spend any more money, and that's it. And maybe their budget was $150 million. And, now the most they could give out is 100. So there's a good chance the offer is not even still on the table. And the second thing is Cashman has kind of said, I don't know if he's directly come out and said this, but he's at least hinted in his press conference that the Yankees rotation and their lineup is pretty much all set. So with all of that, it makes the obvious reaction would be no, the Yankees are going to sign Snell, and this is all just hoopla. But what team is the two-time Cy Young winner going to go to? If the Yankees are the only team that offers him a contract, hey, maybe that gets in his head. Maybe he's thinking, this is the only team that really values me. Who knows? But it could get funky. And especially as he gets later, look, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes into spring training and, this drags on a while. And I think that's when the Yankees could potentially come into play. All right. I'll paint you a scenario because I think this might be the most likely situation where Snell can end up a Yankee. Nothing happens for the next month, and there's a good chance that's going to happen. And then we get into spring training. Some rumors are starting to heat up with Blake Snell. And say in spring training, one of the Yankees pitchers goes down, right? Freak injury, whatever, 2 months, 3 months, however long. And Snell rumors are still floating around. I think then there is a very good chance Yankees could pivot and throw some money at him. Although right now, I just don't see the Yankees. I think at most right now they're just looking at relievers.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening, especially, Blake Snell's market, his value is just what he's been looking for has not been valued by any other teams. I believe he wanted something, 7, 8 years, a little over $200 million. He's a 31-year-old pitcher who had a fabulous season, had a really good season this year, but no one really knows what that contract could even look like, in 2, 3 years. Obviously, there's, been some injury things with Snell, and it just looks like people aren't valuing that contract at all. So it's going to be interesting. Does a team, are they intrigued to go out there and get Blake Snell and, overpay and give him a big contract for 3 years? Maybe Snell has to change his whole mindset on how he's viewing this offseason. But I put out a tweet yesterday basically saying my opinion, how I believe the Yankees have a really good shot at Snell with each passing day. And there was a lot of mixed opinions on it. But, just based off what I've seen from the Yankees this offseason and how they've attacked and went after players, I feel like they're very aggressive. And I feel like, maybe it's not the same old, stuff from Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner. We're looking for all options, anything that comes our way. Maybe they're actually trying to go out there and do the best for their team. And with each passing day, and you just look at the market, I think it just becomes not only more enticing for Blake Snell to sign with the Yankees, but I just think it becomes more enticing for the Yankees to go out there and sign Blake Snell. Just that temptation, which, a Cy Young, last year's Cy Young pitcher, is still on the market. Spring training's about to begin, right? To add two Cy Youngs, it would be the first time since sometime in the 70s when the Royals did it. Second time in MLB history to have two Cy Youngs from last season pitching on the same team with an offense that has gotten fully upgraded this offseason.
Yeah, Yankees are in an interesting spot. Obviously they went off after Yamamoto hard, so we know they still are willing to give out a big chunk of money, right? They offered Yamamoto $300 million. So if Snell's in the 150 range, you'd think that would be okay. Although it all comes down to maybe the Yankees like Yamamoto a lot more. Maybe they don't really like Snell more than that. So it's kind of, I don't think they necessarily have a restriction. It's really just going to come down to, does Brian Cashman think this could put the Yankees over the top? Obviously, I want this guy. I mean, I think if you went out and got Blake Snell, there goes every question that you could have possibly had with the Yankees rotation, right? I mean, we're kind of going into the season now with five guys who can be really good, but when you look at Stroman, that could go south. Nestor, Rodon, who knows what's going to happen with their injuries. And then you kind of have Garrett Cole and Clark Schmidt. Garrett Cole, you know what you're going to get, and Clark Schmidt is kind of Clark Schmidt, right? And you add a Cy Young winner to that, it becomes very, very good. So, look, we don't really know what's going to happen. I don't think if Blake Snell was going to be a Yankee, I don't think that happens anytime within the next month and a half. As I said, I think that's more of a spring training. He's getting desperate. And not to say desperate, but more desperate for the money he thinks he deserves. Because obviously a team would be happy to sign him. But say he wants more than 150 or whatever. That's when I think the Yankees could swoop in. Maybe an injury happens, maybe it doesn't, and then they add him to the rotation. But look, I wouldn't count the Yankees out on him. I'm not saying that the Yankees are favorites, but I think to say that the Yankees are completely done is not fair. And to be honest, I wouldn't have said that a few weeks ago.